What would you do if a man who looked homeless was actually a billionaire in disguise? Every morning, people walked past him. A man sitting quietly outside St. Mary's Hospital, torn jacket, dirty shoes, cardboard sign that read, "Hungry, please help." To everyone else, he was invisible, just another lost soul. But he wasn't. He was Michael Langford, a billionaire, who once owned that very hospital, now pretending to be homeless to test a question that haunted him. Would anyone still show kindness if there was nothing to gain? For days, no one stopped. Not one person offered food, or even a glance, until that cold Thursday morning. "Mommy, he looks hungry," said one of the twins, holding his mother's hand. "Can we give him our lunch?" Their mother, Emily Carter, paused. Her hospital uniform was still damp from the early shift, her eyes heavy from exhaustion, but her heart was soft. "If that's what you want, boys," she said gently, "go ahead." Two small hands offered a sandwich. One older hand trembled as it accepted. "Thank you," the man whispered. "You have no idea what this means." Emily smiled faintly. "Maybe I do." She turned away, unaware that her simple act had already begun to unravel a secret much larger than kindness itself. Because the man her sons had just fed, the one the world ignored, was about to change their lives in ways they could never imagine. And by the time they found out who he really was, it would be too late to forget him. The morning after that small act of kindness, Emily Carter was back at the hospital before sunrise. Her mop bucket squeaked down the empty hallway, and the smell of bleach clung to her uniform. Her sons, Ethan and Noah, waited quietly in the corner of the staff room, coloring on the back of old reports. It wasn't the life she'd imagined, but it was honest. "Mommy, do you think the man outside is okay?" Noah asked softly. Emily paused, wringing the mop. "I hope so, sweetheart. Maybe we'll see him again." What she didn't know was that Michael Langford was sitting in the same spot, outside the ER doors, wrapped in the same worn blanket. He had spent the night on that bench, not because he needed to, but because he wanted to see if anyone else would stop. Nobody did. Nurses walked by. Doctors rushed past. Patients' families looked away. Michael took notes on a small notepad he kept hidden under the cardboard sign. Day 4. Only one person spoke. She had twins. When Emily's shift ended that evening, she found the boys tugging at her sleeve. "Mom, can we take him another sandwich? Please?" Ethan begged. She smiled wearily. "You boys have bigger hearts than I do." They returned to the bench. Michael looked up, surprised, as the twins ran toward him. "You came back," he said quietly. Ethan handed him another sandwich. "Mom says everyone deserves dinner." Michael stared at them for a long moment. The janitor's sons, covered in hospital dust, smiling like it was the most natural thing in the world. And for the first time in years, he didn't feel rich or poor, just human. By the third day, the twins didn't need reminding. Before school, they wrapped sandwiches in napkins, whispering to each other as Emily packed her cleaning supplies. "Maybe he likes peanut butter," Noah said. Ethan nodded seriously. "He looked happy last time." Emily smiled, pretending not to listen. Her heart swelled every time she saw their excitement. Outside St. Mary's Hospital, the man was right where they'd left him. Same bench, same tired smile. But this time, when Ethan handed him the sandwich, Michael spoke first. "Why do you keep coming back?" he asked softly. "Because Mommy says kindness is like medicine," Noah replied. "It helps people feel better inside." Michael's throat tightened. "Your mom sounds wise. She's the janitor," Ethan said proudly. "She cleans the hospital so sick people can get better." Michael froze. He looked at Emily, sweat on her forehead, gloves in her hands, kindness in her eyes. She was the kind of person his world had forgotten existed. That afternoon, when she passed by the hospital cafeteria, the head nurse whispered to another worker, "That woman's always helping strays. Last week it was a kitten. Now it's a man on a bench." Emily pretended not to hear. Later, when her shift ended, she saw Michael still sitting there, watching the sunset over the parking lot. He looked peaceful, but lonely. She hesitated, then asked, "Do you have somewhere to sleep tonight?" He shook his head. "Don't worry about me." But she did. "Boys," she said gently, "go say goodnight." The twins ran to him, hugging his arm. And when Michael closed his eyes, he felt something he hadn't in years, the comfort of belonging. By the end of the week, the hospital staff had grown used to seeing Emily's twins talking to the homeless man every afternoon. Some smiled at the sight, others shook their heads. But Emily had started to notice things that didn't fit. His hands, clean, smooth, not calloused like a man living on the streets. His voice, calm, educated, gentle. Even the way he thanked her sons. It sounded refined, practiced. That Friday morning, as she wiped down the glass doors near the entrance, she caught sight of him again, sitting quietly, reading a small leather notebook. A homeless man with a notebook? She frowned. Later, when she walked past to empty the trash cans, something metallic caught her eye. A wristwatch, half hidden under his sleeve. Not cheap, not old. An expensive watch. Nice watch, she said carefully. Michael looked up, startled. Then he smiled faintly. A gift, from someone I used to know. Her instincts told her there was more to him than met the eye. But before she could say anything else, Ethan ran up with a cup of hot chocolate. Mommy said it's too cold to sit outside all day, he said, handing it over. Michael accepted it slowly. You really shouldn't waste your money on me. It's not wasting, Noah said. It's sharing. Emily's throat tightened. They get that from their father, she murmured. Michael looked at her. Really looked. He must have been a good man. She gave a sad smile. He left before he could be. For a moment, neither spoke. The only sound was the hum of ambulances and the wind through the parking lot. And somewhere inside, Michael Langford began to feel guilt he couldn't explain. Saturday mornings at St. Mary's were quieter. The city seemed to breathe slower. Emily was cleaning the entrance when she saw the twins sitting with Michael again, this time sharing crackers and laughter. She tried to hide her smile. You two are going to make him spoiled. Michael looked up. I don't mind. Ethan giggled. Mom says when people smile, they get better faster. Michael's eyes softened. Then I must be healing. For the first time, Emily sat beside him on the cold bench. Why here? She asked gently. There are shelters downtown. He hesitated. I wanted to be close to this place. Someone I cared about spent her last days here. Her tone softened. I'm sorry. He nodded slowly. She was my wife. Cancer. I spent so much time trying to save her. With money, doctors, connections. But in the end, all she wanted was someone to sit beside her. Emily's eyes filled with tears. You loved her deeply. I did. But I forgot how to love others after she was gone. The twins listened quietly, their small hands clutching the edges of the bench. Noah whispered, My daddy left too. Michael smiled sadly. Then maybe we all lost something we can't replace. A silence hung between them, heavy but peaceful. Before leaving, Emily tucked a small thermos of soup beside him. Eat it while it's warm. He touched it as if it were made of gold. You have no idea how rare kindness like yours is. She smiled softly. Maybe you just stopped looking in the right places. And for the first time in years, Michael Langford felt seen, not as a name, but as a man. On Monday morning, rain poured again over the city. Emily pushed her cleaning cart through the sliding glass doors, her boys walking beside her with their tiny umbrellas. Outside, on the same bench, Michael sat shivering, soaked, silent, still. Mommy, he's cold, Noah whispered. Before she could answer, a hospital security guard approached, frowning. Ma'am, this man's been loitering here for days, he said. We've had complaints. He's scaring the patients. Emily's chest tightened. He's not hurting anyone. It's hospital policy, the guard insisted. He needs to leave. Michael lowered his head, his soaked cardboard sign crumbling in his hands. I'll go, he murmured. But Emily stepped forward. No, he's just trying to stay warm. Let him be. The guard crossed his arms. You can't decide that, ma'am. Her voice trembled but didn't break. I'm not deciding for the hospital. I'm deciding for my heart. People in the lobby started watching. Some whispered. Others smirked. The twins clung to her uniform, eyes wide. Michael looked up slowly, meeting her gaze. Why would you defend me? He asked softly. Because everyone deserves to be treated like a person, she said, even when they've got nothing. For a long second, the world seemed to stop. Then the guard muttered something under his breath and walked away. Emily knelt beside Michael, offering her scarf. You shouldn't sit here in the rain. He stared at her hand, trembling. You risked your job for me. She smiled faintly. Jobs come and go. Humanity shouldn't. As she turned to leave, one of the twins said in a small voice, Mommy says helping someone isn't a choice. It's what good people do. And that single sentence pierced straight through Michael Langford's guarded heart. The next morning, Emily woke up to the sound of her son's whispering. Do you think he's hungry again, Mom? Ethan asked. Probably, she said, buttoning her faded uniform. Let's take him breakfast before I start my shift. But when they reached the hospital gate, The bench was empty. No blanket, no cardboard sign, no trace of the man who'd become part of their mornings. Noah frowned. Maybe he left because of the guard. Emily sighed. Maybe. Sometimes good people disappear quietly. She spent the whole day cleaning patient rooms, trying not to think about it. Still, something in her chest felt hollow. When she returned to the locker room that evening, she found an envelope taped to her locker. No name, no note, just her locker number written neatly in black ink. She opened it slowly and froze. Inside were $500 in crisp bills. Her hands shook. Who would do that? Attached was a small folded paper for the lunches that meant more than food. A grateful friend. Her throat tightened. She knew immediately. That night, she gathered her boys. "Remember the man from the bench?" she asked softly. The twins nodded. "He's not coming back," she said, forcing a smile. "But he left something behind, a reminder that kindness always returns." Ethan asked, "Will we see him again?" Emily looked out the window at the glowing hospital sign and whispered, "If the world's fair, yes." What she didn't know was that Michael Langford was watching from across the street, clean-shaven, in a dark suit, eyes full of quiet gratitude. He wasn't done yet. A week later, the hospital was buzzing with news. "Did you hear?" whispered one nurse. "The CEO of Langford Medical Group is coming today. Michael Langford himself." Emily barely looked up from her mop. Big names didn't matter to her world of stains and floors. Still, she caught herself glancing once toward the main doors. When the limousine pulled up, cameras flashed. A tall man stepped out in a black suit, confident, composed. Something about him made Emily's heart skip, a familiar kindness in his eyes. She froze. It can't be. The man smiled gently. "Hello, Ms. Carter." Her mop handle nearly slipped from her hand. "Mr. Langford." He nodded. "Or maybe you remember me better from the bench." Her breath caught. The world around them blurred, voices fading, lights dimming, until only his words filled the space. "You and your sons showed me what I'd forgotten, what no amount of money can buy. Kindness freely given." Tears welled in her eyes. "You were testing people. I was testing myself," he said softly. "And you passed what I couldn't." He handed her a white envelope. "Inside is a letter and something small. A start for the future you deserve." She shook her head. "You don't owe me anything." He smiled. "Then let's say it's my turn to share." The twins ran up, recognizing him instantly. "You're the man from the bench." Michael knelt, meeting their eyes. "And you're the boys who taught me what family means." The crowd around them applauded softly, unaware that they were witnessing something far greater than wealth, the return of humanity in a billionaire's heart. Kindness can change lives, just like in this story. Maybe sharing it with someone special could brighten their day. Subscribe to the channel and leave a like for more stories like this.